And we are live. Good evening, crypto warriors, and welcome back to the Gem of the Crypto episode 410. Today is Monday, June 10th, and I'm King.
And I'm Bitcoin Zay, and we're here to bridge the gap between cryptocurrency and the community Monday through Friday at 3-ish.
At 3-ish, and today our top stories are crypto media site CCN shuts down and cites Google as a reason. Crypto exchange Bittrex is blocking U.S. users from trading in cryptos. G20 Finance Leaders are asking global regulators consider a multilateral response to crypto. Russian parliament considers imposing fines on crypto mining by the end of the month. And last but not least, U.S. retailer Target has developed an open source blockchain. But first, our cryptic coin winner of last week. Do we have one?
We do not have a crypto coin winner from last week, unfortunately, but you will have your chance to win today, so stay tuned.
There we go. And how are we looking on the prices today?
Oh, yeah. So our price rundown for the top 6 coins. Bitcoin jumped up today 4% to $7,955. Ripple holding steady.
How are we looking on the price
at 40 cents. Ethereum, $245, up 6%. Bcash hovering around $390, up 3% today. EOS at 635 has moved up 4%. And Litecoin, the biggest gainer of the day, $127, 11% gain. So green across the board for today.
There we go. There we go. All right, top story. Let's see if we can load this up appropriately here as I bring up the menu. And let's see, there it is. Application menu, top story of the day. Actually, before we get started, a couple of quick shout outs. See some people coming in. What's going on? Jamal, Jay, Tonio, a couple other folks I see loading in right now.
Oh, yeah.
But as you see, top crypto media site CCN shuts down. They're citing Google update for their loss of search visibility. Right. This is crazy news. I'm sure it's going down on crypto Twitter right now, but it looks like top crypto site again, media site CCN is shutting down today, June 10th, according to the announcement on their website. The post, which was written by Jonas Borchgrenovic, the director and founder of CCN Markets and Hawkfish AS, states that the reason behind the closure is a large drop-off in traffic from Google searches following a June 3rd Google Core update. Borchgrenovic writes that the crypto news site traffic fell over 71% on mobile overnight. Bitcoin, what's going on here?
Oh, man. Yeah, you hate to see this. What they're thinking is that Google has basically shut down crypto traffic for news sites. If you noticed, and me and King definitely noticed because we do the news every day, CCN started off as pure crypto, and then you started seeing them kind of switch to put in like more corporate finance stuff and more mainstream news stuff. And we both were, trying to wonder, why was the change coming? And this may be the reason. They may have seen that their traffic wasn't being picked up from crypto type stories, and they started trying to get better SEO by putting different stories that were popular elsewhere. Unfortunately, their daily revenue is down 90%. They've looked at the numbers. They've kind of tried to figure out why. And it looks like they got nuked by Google. They basically are saying that it may be a crypto crackdown because other sites that are not, affiliated with crypto, they have experienced it. However, the sites that are, that have crypto basically for most of their traffic, they have definitely experienced it. So CCN, you hate to see it, but man, we were wondering before what happened with CCN from before, and now, as we can see, they're shutting down. You hate to see it in a bear market.
And we can see it here also. It says here, this is like that June 3rd update you're seeing, and you see that steep drop off in price, right after that. So it's kind of crazy to see that. Lends you to believe that maybe Google may be telling the truth. I'm realizing that as I move my screen, you all can see that. So pardon me. But yeah, it's crazy to see. I'm jacking this thing all the way up. One other thing I will point out too, though, once I bring this screen back up, is there we go. At the top, I love how the guy started off. He said, "Dear readers, let's get straight to it. This is cryptocurrency. You have your CEO and founder of a news site. Hey, we're not about to beat around the bush. This is what's going on. But in this site, or in this full write-up you have, and this is on ccn.com as well if you all want to check it out. It's an in-depth write-up by their CEO and founder. This is one of those write-ups where when I was in the military doing PR, I would tell the admiral or the captain, whoever was writing the letter or the email to somebody they really weren't happy with, I would say, hey, let me get it once over. Let me read it. you know, you give it a day, sleep on it, and then rewrite it again tomorrow type of deal. And that's the same advice it gave to us. I think the founder should have did that because he is like almost attacking Google in here. It's one of those things where like you're not going to win that battle.
Yeah, not at all. And I don't even know why exactly it's kind of a snarky article. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because of Google and just because they're Google. And I'm like, well, I guess, yeah, kind of, but you do know what you're getting yourself into. And unfortunately, if you are in this industry, it relies on clicks. That's why you have such terrible journalism sometimes. Like they really don't write a story. They'll have a funny headline and they just get the click and that's it. The story will be like 10 images where you can click over. So that's the game you got into. So you got to deal with Google and SEO, and those bots were not crawling. So unfortunately,
I mean, clearly it's targeted attack, not just on crypto sites. I mean, in the article, this guy even says it might be just because of right-wing news sites. He even admits that, hey, we have Trump supporters write opinion pieces on here when it comes to blockchain and crypto news. So that may be a reason, because it looks like a lot of the right-wing sites were hit with this. But even crazier, I mean, this guy goes in detail in this article. And I actually just reached out to him on LinkedIn, folks. So I'm going to try to get him here for an interview, because as Bitcoin Zay said at the beginning, I would also like to know why he stopped doing just specifically crypto news, as well as what's going on with this. But I mean, he literally down this article, he's talking about the wars they won. You know, do they need a Wikipedia page? Like, he's basically going to bat for himself when it comes to Google, saying, hey, we've done all this great stuff. Why is it just us? But at the end of all this, at the very end, I mean, as you can see, this is a very long article. But at the very end, you know, he goes to talk about, hey, we do great journalism here. You know, he's calling all journalists, editors, directors, and news organizations to come to help. He's talking about the 60+ employees that are being affected by this Google ban. And even more, you know, he's going down. He's talking about his demands for Google, which is he wants a 3 months notice to all webmasters and news organizations of any major Google core update, and elaborate what it might affect. If a news organization is considered being in the risk zone for losing more than 20% of their search traffic, explains why and what it can do to change to stay afloat. And last but not least, involve all national governments, since they're the leading search engine, and allow them to create an apolitical task force, forces to examine the search changes for the conservation of democracies, freedom of search, freedom of the press, and freedom of information. In addition, he's saying, what can you do? As you can see here, he's saying you can share the message, share the demands, write your own opinions, all this stuff you can do. He goes on to say, remember Standard Oil, how they control 88% of all the oil in the United States. What happened with that? He's going on to say Google controls 88.47% of the global desktop search market. He even goes on to talk about crypto and Bitcoin and why it's important, because, hey, Bitcoin is invented in 2009 to stop centralization and banks and basically businesses from having control of anything just like this. And then as a very end, of course, as he says, thank you to everyone. He in bold puts, we are shutting down CCN.com. Google has made that choice for us.
Man.
Wow. Now, I know that was long-winded, but I think that was important to point out, because while as unfair as happening to him and his business or whatever, this is happening across crypto in general. Businesses are going down. We just went through a very long bear market. Everyone had to cut costs. Everyone had to cut employees. They're not special. And if anything, you want to talk about someone's upset, how about us, the gentlemen in crypto? We've been streaming every day for 2.5 years now, and we get on an average 200 to 300 people, right? You don't see us saying, hey, let's shut down and boycott Google or YouTube or whoever else, since our search rankings aren't what they should be. Here's a key thing. Maybe, you know, I'm sure they have a PR team or a marketing team. I saw them using some of the systematic stuff to spot the drop in traffic. But for those who study some of the search engine optimization, you already knew the Google update was coming. And basically, for those, like, I forgot the guy's name, but for those over at CCN, their co-founder, anybody else facing these traffic issues, the best thing you can do is just basically be pro Google on your websites. That's basically what they made it into. For all the spiders, the bots, the crawlers, all the back end stuff, all the programs, everything you do needs to be connected to Google or one of their platforms and processes somehow. That is literally the only way to keep your search engine up and going for some of these bigger, even the bigger sites, as you see, can affect. So for all those sites saying, well, hey, what happened? They clearly aren't using enough Google services. While it's unfair, it's a private company, right?
Yeah, you hate to see it, but this is the game Google plays.
This is the game. All right, well, that's CCN people. We definitely want to give them their time for their piece, because it looks like they are choosing to play the victim role and quit. But again, we're going to try to get him on live to talk to him about what's going on. What's going on, Ray Mata? Antonio says CCN done out here. Oh yeah, we did say that exactly. Antonio from the UK said then we already called it CCN collapse. Yeah, we called that collapse as Bitcoins. They said back when they started or they stopped doing only crypto news. And by the way, I wonder if that has anything to do with the drop, and they're just blaming crypto as a exit escape to get out of whatever they're in right now, right?
Yeah, could be. I mean, you never know. Well, with these CEOs, they want to save face, and we'll see what he does in the future. But so far, it's just a lot of whining right now. We'll see if he'll move towards something better.
Right here. Let me go to a couple of these comments. I'll put them on the big screen. Here we go. Boom. Christopher Moy, what's going on? Christopher Moy says, sound like an excuse to me. No shade. Let's see. Sergeant Crypto, what's going on? Exactly. Antonio said that's why you got to diversify. Ray Mata said the purge is happening. Say or do anything Google wrong or Facebook, and you will get purged to D2.
D2. Oh, yeah.
What's going on, Tessa? New Legacy, Tony Nolly, Seb R. Crypto Blood in the house. What's going on?
What's up? What's
Crypto
up?
Blood is crazy. It's crazy. Exactly. Antonio said he can't blame Google with that weak mindset. You don't win wars by giving up. Exactly. Yeah. It's how it is, people. Yeah, Christopher Moy said you can't be shocked when you see new changes in a brand new area like crypto. So there we are. All right, next up, crypto exchange Bittrex to block U.S. users from trading in 32 cryptos. Bitcoin Zay, what's happening over here?
Wow.
Big news.
Yeah, big news. This announcement actually follows a similar move by Polodex, which we all know hasn't been used for a while. They basically call it geofencing, where there are 9 assets from its American clients that they can't use on Poloniex. But Bittrex, they have over 200, and now they're saying there will be about 32 that they will not be able to use in the U.S. And the bans, supposedly, trading of the soon-to-be banned coins will cease on June 21st. So you have until June 21st to move the coins off of the wallet or off of Bittrex onto your own wallet. Some of the popular coins being named Quantum, QTUM as the ticker name, Storage, ENG, MFT, and Factum. I don't know those 2 before it, but if you do know those ticker names, those are some of the more popular ones. We have spoken about Quantum before. Storage was promising back in the day, kind of gave up on that. But if they're going to just shut down U.S. residents from trading certain assets, all this is going to do is open up decentralized exchange market, and Bittrex and the centralized exchange like it can go away, honestly. They don't really have everybody under lock and key yet. So I think they're doing this a little bit too early, honestly. If they had everybody under their thumb, maybe they could enforce this, but this is really going to drive people away. Maybe not, at first, because some people may not hold it, but if they just start canceling the coins people use, this is not going to look good for Bittrex.
I mean, Bittrex, like CCN, has been on a warpath of trying to destroy themselves for a while. Yeah. I mean, not as of course, CCN isn't as bad as Bittrex, but they've been on literally a warpath. I think it's almost intentional. They're like, look, let's just take this business so we don't owe nothing back to the government. I don't know what it is, but regardless, this is, again, why we repeat almost daily at this point. Don't give in to the government and the regulations. We know it sucks. We know they're trying to pinpoint or isolate people. And I won't even say don't give in, but be careful how you give in. The one thing we said about all exchanges when they started working with the government or the regulators, the ones that did, was that give it a few months, give it a few years, give it a couple of decades, and watch how much the government owns. And already we're seeing that influence now where the government's saying, well, was this an ICO or is this an STO? Is this an IEO? What is this? Well, since we can't classify it right now, since we haven't made up our mind, even though we work for you all, the people who actually own these things, we're going to make it illegal for you to do anything with it. And you're seeing companies now like Bittrex who have been in business for a while. So this is upsetting or disheartening. They've been in business for a while. And all of a sudden the government comes, they give them that tap on the shoulder because everyone in the comment section was saying that the article didn't give a reason why. There's only one reason why, people. There's only one reason why an exchange would want to make more money off transaction fees, and that's because the government told them they couldn't, right?
Oh, yeah. And do they really need a reason is the biggest part. They could just do it overnight. We've seen that before, personally and with other people. Bittrex wants to shut it down, they can do it. And for them, I don't think it's a good move for their business, but they have to, they bent the knee already, so they got to stay down there.
Right. I'm glad you brought that up, the overnight point. So for those who didn't catch that, Bittrex is infamous. Like this time they give you a warning, but they're also infamous for you waking up at 4 or 3 a.m. in the middle of the night and you all of a sudden find out that, oh, all these rules and regulations we actually just switched them all around. So they are going to affect you and your business totally different. So they will do that. It's a good point.
Oh, yeah. And you're right, Sergeant Crypto. The bit license. Once you try and get into the bit license crowd, you got to deal with bit license regulators.
There it is. That is why the entire planet is staying out of the state of New York. And again, the constituents and civilians in New York are doing nothing. So, but I will give them props to New York. They tried with Occupation Wall Street and gang. All right. G20 Finance Leaders ask global regulators to consider multilateral response to crypto. Wow. We called this about a couple years ago, huh?
Oh, man. Talk about a booby trap. They are literally setting you up for the kill. I just want to give people a quick rundown of systems that had a multilateral approach. The latest one being how we approach the 2008 financial crisis. That was a multilateral approach, and we saw how that happened. So this is all around bad. But it says here G20 finance ministers and central bank governors have asked the Financial Stability Board and global standard setting organizations to monitor risks around crypto assets. This request came out on June 9th. Following the G20 meeting in Japan. So their quote here, they asked FSB and standard setting bodies to monitor risk and consider work on additional multilateral responses as needed. So I wonder what those additional responses will be. They basically state that blockchain, not Bitcoin. That's all the statement basically means. Is like, oh yeah, while we see that crypto could have usefulness in the future through blockchain, we definitely need AML and KYC. Which, you know, we understand that you don't. People have done it for years without it, but they are coming in on the G20 and they're basically putting their foot down and saying we need some standards. We need to rein it in. Like I've always said, good luck. Don't see it happening, but I'm sure they will try.
Of course, it's interesting to point out here, too, that this quote was also brought up. While crypto assets do not pose a threat to global financial stability at this point, we remain vigilant to risks, including those related to consumer investor protection, anti-money laundering, and counterfeiting or countering the financing of terrorism. CFT, I never even seen that one.
Never even seen that before.
So we're on that track again. So heads up to that, people. But this is, I mean, this is something we talked about, and it's crazy that it's actually coming where now the entire planet is getting together as far as our governments go. Again, the small minority of people who work for all of us are getting together and trying to decide how they are going to attack crypto. And I can only assume it won't be in a positive light.
No, I'm guessing it won't be.
All right, well, that's the G20, folks. And speaking of leaders, it looks like Russia's parliament considered imposing fines on crypto mining by the end of June. Following Vancouver's lead, and who else was with them the other day?
Oh, man, I forgot. It was another country that was tripping too, but yeah.
Right. Russia's parliament, the state of Duma, is considering imposing administrative responsibility for the mining of cryptocurrencies, local news outlet TASS reported on June 7th. In an interview with TASS, Anatoly Aksakov, I can't say it, Aksakov, the chairman of the State Duma Committee on the Financial Market, said that the government may introduce administrative responsibility for digital currency mining by the end of June. She stated, I note that any operations with cryptocurrency that are contrary to the Russian legislation will be considered illegitimate. This means that mining, organized issuance, circulation, creating exchange points for these tools will be prohibited. So even exchanges. Administrative liability in the form of a fine will be incurred for such actions. We believe that cryptocurrencies created on open blockchains such as Bitcoins, Ethers, and others are illegitimate tools. Wow.
Yeah.
So she went as far as to call out cryptos like Bitcoin and Ethereum as illegitimate tools. However, she didn't call the blockchain that they use illegitimate. Hilarious.
Yeah. This is hilarious. I mean, this is what we're seeing across the board. And in Russia, of course, it's no surprise because they've already tried to pass a major crypto bill, but it was sent back basically because it didn't have any concepts like mining, tokens. It was missing a lot of stuff. So they were like, hey, we can't pass this bill because we'll miss out on certain things we can tax. And they basically found out, hey, if we're going to impose this on these fines on crypto mining and whatnot, then we got to catch everything. Bitcoins, Ethers, everything's illegitimate and give us some money for it. So unfortunately, for those who are mining in Russia, man, it's some good electricity over there, but you're gonna have to pay now.
This is crazy. I mean, the fact that she's calling it illegitimate, though. I mean, again, this is one of those things where they've already explored using the crypto ruble before. So you know, they want to develop their own cryptocurrency, their crypto ruble. They want to get the program up and going, their own centralized blockchain. But at the same time, they're saying that the technology that birthed all this is wrong. It's interesting to see this. But again, this is just another day in cryptocurrency with another government trying to keep it down as low as possible.
Always.
All right. Last but certainly not least, people, the last story of the day. U.S. retailer Target unveils open source blockchain for supply chain tracking. Shout out to Target.
We give them a quick hand. Shout out to them.
What's going on here?
Oh, yeah. Well, they have been working on a blockchain-powered solution for supply chain management. And we've seen this with Walmart. We told you, we said as soon as Walmart or as soon as some big company starts using supply chain management, IBM has software for it with the Hyperledger. Everybody's going to start jumping on it because most big corporations, they copy other places. So they pledged to support the Hyperledger Grid project, which is, once again, supply chain management. And the company is under Target. So they will be looking for blockchain engineers and systems developers to run it. So they'll actually be hiring based off this. The new engineer will be contributing to the recently open source Consensus and to Hyperledger Grid, developing distributed ledger systems, protocols, smart contracts, CLIs, and APIs. A lot of open source stuff, which will basically benefit Target long term, as well as any big corporation with supply chain blockchains. And this will be probably the new buzzword among corporations. I'm sure there are people who do marketing and who do a lot of the presentations for these big companies. Blockchain is probably literally at the top of every meeting. Like, all right, so what else can we apply it to get some traction? And it looks good for them because now Target's in the news. So shout out to Target for using blockchain technology.
There we go. I mean, that's pretty cool to see that. And it's funny, we just talked about this the other day again. It's about you said the first big company to do it, but we also talk about institutions and private companies using open source blockchains to get their business handled, at least between themselves as institutions. It only makes sense. So it's pretty cool to see Target take that first step to do it this way. For the free crypto coin, what are we doing today?
Oh yeah, so we just discussed Target getting a supply chain management blockchain up and running. What next big corporation do you think should use specifically supply chain management for blockchain, supply chain management? So let us know, put that crypto coin address, and we'll choose that free winner and send those coins.
All right, and for the last couple of quick comments, seeing some good ones come in. Top Networkers Group, what's going on? It says CCN is dumb for that move, but opportunity for someone else to step in. I mean, listen, they literally just left a big, I mean, it was only 3 right now, right?
Yeah.
3 of the biggest ones, but
big ones, yeah.
I think they just left a big gap. You're right. And yeah, that vacuum will be full, especially as the bull cycle commences. If this is the beginning, or if we're in there, this is the beginning, they decide to leave. This is a bad, definitely a bad time. Antonio said India and Russia are tripping. It was India the other day. That's who it was. India, Vancouver, and Russia are all tripping. He said Bitcoin doesn't need governments. Government needs Bitcoin, of course. A target blockchain for what? It was S1 Dubs asked. It would be for supply management.
Yeah, supply chain management and probably internal. It wouldn't be something you see like out there.
All right. Hope not.
Hope not, yeah.
Other than that, that is our show for today, folks. Thanks for watching. Make sure you leave that cryptic coin comment in your public address to receive that. And we will see you all tomorrow. Cheers.
Cheers.